this black cat, but add hot water. Wait for it. Ooh. Gemma Laurel, Aussie voice actor who doesn't sound Australian. The hero this country needs to tell the truth and never get hired again. 我的名字是 Gemma， 那是我是 Gemma。저는 Gemma예요. Mi amo Gemma. Ismi huwa Gemma. My name is Gemma. Okay, that's time for me to shush and move on to today's lessons. Don't stick gum under your seat. Remember, you're in studio and you have to use that space again. Although I always aim to speak the truth, there are some situations where auditions, NDAs, and gossiping over the socials, these are some of the ways in which you can get fired and also never hired. Do not talk about, leak details about, or drop some not so subtle hints about the auditions that you are having. I understand. It gets super exciting when you audition or you book a role and you're about to record and you finally have that meaty role and you finally have hope that the only voiceover you've done so far is character fantasy meow meow on a video game Bayship Zips Undone 500 won't be the highlight of your voice acting career. No, it's really hard to contain your excitement when you finally audition for a role across from The Witcher. Wait, what? 9! Leaking details is a breach of confidentiality and can open you up to being sued. And at best, it's sheer unprofessionalism. You don't know who else is watching your post. There are people who steal ideas from others on the internet that could undermine the years of story development and hard work the studio you're working with has already invested in a project. Also, by leaking details early, you're showing that you can't be trusted with information. Potential clients might think, if you're leaking stuff now, what the heck are you going to do when you book the job? And it also reeks of noob. I said noob, but newbies, that's actually not helping. New people to an industry. Desperate people do desperate things, like announcing their upcoming audition. And also, if you overuse social media for all of the negativity that you're having in your life, like some kind of announcement platform, if you gossip and are unsupportive of other creatives on the socials, or you come across as being very negative and critical, or display what could be interpreted as an addiction to dysfunction, then you can be giving off the impression to new people that you're going to be really horrible to work with. That's the other thing about social media. It's very quick to put your foot in it. We have to filter information quickly in order to make decisions. We like to know who we are dealing with and eliminate as many risks as possible. We will look people up on the internet and form conclusions about them in less than 60 seconds. And generally, people who have a negative attitude are not fun to work with. Anyone who doesn't think like I do is an absolute fuckwit. I'm so sick of my crappy government. Let me whinge about it until the end of time. Ugh, everyone is so biased. Oh, by the way, please hire me. I need work. Send. I have seen posts like this. Does this kind of behavior inspire you to connect with somebody? Probably not, unless you get off on pain. Secondly, not having integrity. There are two main ways in which I've seen this play out. Firstly, by chronically accepting low-paying gigs, and secondly, by continuing to work with ethically bankrupt people. You play dumb games and you win dumb prizes. If you play the I can charge less than everybody else game, then you're going to doormat your way to the bottom and also just lower the bar to the whole industry. You might think that getting paid $200 for a commercial spot is a good deal, until you realize that they're going to make 5 different cut-down versions of your recording and have it across social media, radio, TV for the rest of time. In which case, you should have been paid thousands of dollars. And scooping up $5 jobs and having to do 50 of them back to back just to pay the rent every day will not only chew up all of your time, it will lead to burnout vocally and mentally. And in terms of integrity, the same thing can be said about agreeing to work with people who are notorious for screwing over artists. Voice actors here in Australia who have witnessed unprofessional conduct from a head of studio, who is also quite well known in the industry for underpaying staff, using slimy tactics, and backstabbing their clients. One thing for sure about the industry though is that your integrity will be tested at some point. One voice actor who had worked with this particular studio head before and had a terrible experience took it upon themselves to try to help other voice actors by telling them behind closed doors that this person was not good to work with. This kind of situation is going to be something that every voice actor faces at some point in their career. If you hang around long enough in the industry, there will come a time where you're going to face it. Learning to say no, despite some apparently hotshot executive threatening to end your career in Australia if you stood up for yourself. It's an important muscle to build. This stuff happens even in a little backwater industry in Australia. Not having the fortitude to draw a line and stand by it is going to see you have a terrible time in sustaining a career. And the third common mistake that a lot of voice actors make when they first start out is only networking to book a job. If your only reason to show interest in forming a relationship with someone is so that you can get something, people really sniff that out, especially given that we've had the internet for some time. So at least 10 years of online business funnels and clickbait tactics to keep us like cash cows forever hooked up to a milking machine, giving our attention and money away, dealing with spam emails, dodgy phone calls after work, salespeople who just want commission, and family and friends who act like energy vampires. We've become really good at sensing when someone's not being quite genuine. I absolutely hammer on about this in my online course that building relationships is the goal, not trying to get a job. There's a reason why so many artists quit before the 3-year mark. It's bloody hard. Just to keep going when you've busted your butt trying to get to learn the industry and you've spent time and money upskilling and learning marketing, and then you don't freaking book anything for months on end. It's like, yeah, good choice. At risk of repeating myself, I do realize I've touched on that topic before about building real relationships in a previous video, but I mention it again because it is so important, particularly when you're starting out, because over the years I have learnt this. Most of the jobs that I have booked have been because somebody has recommended me. Someone has given me a chance. Someone has worked with a mutual colleague and my name has come up. People trust their friends' recommendations. It's like going to a hairstylist. Would you just Google and then see which salon is paying for all the ads on Google and then just go to them? Or would you try the salon that your good friend recommends and has gone to for years and always has amazing results? I know you get the idea. Word of mouth is powerful. Speaking of mouth, it is time for me to stop running mine. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. I know what it's like to start out and I'm more than happy to help. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome week and I'll see you next time. Do you look at that? It's raining again in Melbourne. Oh no! You want? You can. Don't know if you'd like. Oh wow, okay.